Why are the pedestrian walkways shaped like this? Here's a hint. We're in Syracusa, Sicily. But first, a quick and dirty on Syracusa. This ancient city in Sicily was founded by Greek colonists from Corinth around 730 BC. It was part of Magna Graecia, or Megali Lava as we say in Greek, and this is essentially when Greeks colonized southern Italy in antiquity, and I'll have to make a dedicated video just to this subject. But back to Syracusa. It became one of the most significant and powerful cities of the ancient Mediterranean, due partly to its strategic location. Syracusa has fertile land and plentiful fresh springs, and of course it's positioned, as you see here, on a natural harbor, which helped it become a naval powerhouse and a hub for trade in the Western Mediterranean. The city became a center for culture, science, politics, and innovation, and it held this dominance throughout the Greek, Punic, and Roman periods. Pindar and Aeschylus famously spent time in Syracusa, and Archimedes, who was alive between 287–212 BC, also known as the father of math and physics, was born here. Some examples of his work are pi, of course, the Archimedes screw, which is still used in modern irrigation and water lifting devices. And by the late Roman period, Syracusa became a Christian center, and it even has very impressive catacombs that rival those of Rome. It continued to be occupied throughout the Byzantine period, and of course once it became part of the medieval West. So Syracusa has been continuously occupied since its foundation. And when you go to Syracusa, you cross a bridge to get to the small island of Ortygia, like you see here, which has the Temple of Apollo from the 6th century BC, one of the oldest in the region. But the city's most famous archaeological site is actually the Greek theater, built in the 5th century BC. It can hold up to 16,000 spectators, and it originally had 67 rows, though only 36 currently survive. It's unique for several reasons, one of which is that it's built next to a stone quarry, which has the ear of Dionysus, which is famous. And this quarry provided building materials, which minimized the transport and labor costs of constructing the theater. It's actually built directly into the limestone hillside, and it leveraged this natural topography for its acoustics and structural stability. There's also an advanced drainage system that prevented flooding of the center stage, as you see here, during rainy season, and nearby springs fed the water systems to the city. Above the theater, like you see here, there's a sacred area with altars, votive offerings, which tie the site to religious festivals. So it's not just a theater where you see performances, but theater and religion tied together. And the theater here in Syracusa is one of the most well-preserved ancient theaters in the Mediterranean, and it served as the centerpiece, you could say, for cultural life, hosting theatrical performances of tragedies and comedies. It even rivaled the Theater of Dionysus in Athens, and it also served as an assembly space for political debates and civic events while offering strategic views of the city and coastline. And so we can compare the social, cultural, political importance of theater in antiquity to maybe how we think about and how we understand the Met Gala and other exhibitions at important museums. On a superficial level, we're talking about art, right? It's the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. But on a political level, on a social level, there's a lot of mingling. People are coming together and they're discussing potential deals. There are these famous pictures from the World Cup and from the Olympics and from the Super Bowl, where there's a lot of politicians from foreign countries mingling together. And so this is where you see in a context that is not formally political, it becomes that. But going back to antiquity, in short, the ancient Greek theater in Syracusa was a cultural hub for the city that attracted intellectuals from around the Mediterranean, and to this day, it still hosts performances in the summer season. So the ancient theater then, as it is now, advertises the city's prosperity and cultural importance. And Syracusa continues to overflow with visitors, as I mentioned earlier, especially in the summertime, who struggle to find seats to take in a modern performance in the ancient theater. And this is why the pedestrian walkways in Syracusa and Ortygia are constructed this way, as an homage to this incredible symbol of the city.